Welcome to Present Poetry. I'm your host, Erin Crittenden, and all poems within this podcast are either public domain or used with permission from the author or the author's estate. It's a fun time for poetry lovers of all ages, so sit back, relax, and get ready to hear some poems of the past and the present. This week's featured poet is Hannah Pearl. Hannah Pearl is a native of Cleveland, Ohio, with a degree in psychology. Over the years, she has also worked in special education and customer service. Pearl is a published author with the small press A.B. Baird Publishing, a company that saw potential in Pearl's poetry. That is how her debut collection, Laughing with My Hair Up, was born. She is also published in the literary magazines Snapdragon and Burning Wood Journal. To learn more about this author, you can connect with her on Instagram or Twitter, or you can find her book, Laughing with My Hair Up, on Amazon through the links in the show notes. This poem is called Black-Eyed Susan. He called me stunning in September when I asked why he was staring. Said my hair blowing in the wind took his breath away. Said my blue, long-sleeved scoop neck reminded him of the hyacinth in his mother's garden. The one she kept tilled and tucked in safely until her teeth started to match the flower that shared her name. Sat there rotting while she drank her weight in Jack and Jim. Sat in clouds of smoke dressed in Marlboro red and short on sun. I finally asked what made her sad when winter took hold, and he said he supposed it was the sadness that is the Midwest, all wind and slick roads, tired people and tired problems. Couldn't be the man who stole her time, made her believe she was everything before he left without his wedding ring. Left it with a note that said daytime drinking was for the weak, but I believe it was the self-medication that he couldn't see. Because I knew, even before I had my eyes freed, eventually that man's son was also taking hold of me slowly. And hell if he thought I was moving to Florida to pop out babies. And hell if he thought I would tend to the gardens just to watch them die one day. This poem is called There's a Resemblance. I didn't realize that my mother and I had the same eyes, same bone structure of timid and turmoil. We both drank from Florida sea and drowned in the southern holy water like it was a baptism with silent mouths and malingering. I think of how my fate was nearly a harbor, full of Venice skies and diaper bags. No more mystery, only alcohol to numb each sunrise and sunset. While he counted calories, I'd be counting the minutes. The immensity of the ocean frightens me, but I crave it more than the lakes. I've steered boats there so often, I can feel the push and pull underneath me and not falter. I hear the swish of murky waters and feel comforted at home. But someday I want to lean forward on the bow, just to feel the wind between thick thighs. I want a deep muscle-aching belly laugh right before the belly flop into the spray. I want to adventure with you. You who will be nothing like Florida, nothing like the man who left for shore, nothing like the man who begged me to stay after his storm. You will be the ocean, strong enough to tighten sails and safe enough to jump ship for. This poem is called Scream. I say I wish I was born with a curve in the light. What I mean is, I wish the fault line wouldn't have quivered above the quake in the first place. I say I'm full of lemonade. What I mean is, I relish in the sugar that dissipates, but choke every day on the lemons. I say I'm gutted like a fish. What I mean is, too many have left my insides unnecessarily scraped through, almost completely rotted. Or maybe I just enjoy retro dark comedies disguised as horror. I tell you I am complicated, a headache without relief, reflux without Pepsid, nausea when taken too early in the morning or too soon before bed, and you roll your eyes. But what I mean is, I'm such a conundrum, a riddle, a brain twister, that not even you could handle me, and I would never ask you to. This poem is called Disappearing Act. Will I always be the sight of melancholy and mourning? I reach for the dove and pull in 12 ravens, for every trip you've missed, and for all the versions of nightmares in which you visit. As wrist trembles on waist, there are glimpses of my own mortality, and dare I be anything like my father, keep the coin stocked and the wishing well near, because God, do I know what it's like to want to gamble. Odds are you're not both in the same place, though the burning stings like hell. So take the ashes from the empty shell. He's a +1 at best. It doesn't matter because both names twist in my chest and make a nest between 4 chambers that call the darkness home. I've heard that ravens are unkind, how they sweep across skies, but it's only to protect their tribe. Feeding on winter blues, they'll take the suffering from you. I suppose I can, too. This poem is called Allergies. It was summertime when he first called me Flaming June. My hair was red. He spoon-fed me Swiss chard, bitter to the taste, where too much will lead to convulsions and a weak pulse. And God, did he make me weak in thee. He needled me right down to the thick and thin of it. Little black dress would just sink into it. Off the shoulders with the necklace and other shit. I loved my jewelry small, but he loved his women the same, and though he barely spoke my name, the word honey often tasted of arsenic. Go quick, because the Swiss chard might as well be artichokes, and who knows if I'd choke on it, or merely get hives, and I'm no longer willing to find out. Thank you for listening to this episode of Present Poetry. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review, share us on social media, or subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you would like to learn more about the featured poet, or you would like your work featured on the podcast, please check out the links in the show notes. Thank you again for listening, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.